Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has officially been ousted from all of her committee appointings by majority vote in the House of Representatives. Greene was the female version of Trump, an unqualified, misinformed, divisive representative that has a very dirty past that would end up biting her in the future. And I'm actually going to preface this video by saying that most conservatives will actually agree with the things I say in this video. So how is she so universally hated? Well, it's actually the same thing that got her kicked out of all of her appointings. It's her past. So let's break down a lot of the things that she's done in her past. Number one is mocking a victim of a school shooting. Specifically David Hogg, who is a victim of the Parkland school shooting and has been an advocate for anti-gun movements in America. After the Parkland school shootings, a lot of people participated in a school walkout against gun violence, and David Hogg was actually one of the leaders in starting this national movement. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he still survived a school shooting. It's a very, very, very traumatic event. And yet, for some reason, this just did not go through Marjorie Taylor Greene's head. Harassing and berating a victim of a school shooting should instantly disqualify you from running for office. In the eye of the voter, that should literally put you off of their radar completely. The crazier thing to me is that she filmed that and she put it to Twitter and online thinking that it was a good idea. Simply, it's not. It's a bad thing that she did, and she should have to face the punishments for doing something like that. But let's get deeper. She openly supports QAnon. In her hearing today, she did say that she doesn't support QAnon anymore, but she also said that she understands why people support QAnon. This is what we call pandering in politics. When you run on an idea that you don't fully believe in or that could bite you in your political career, what you do is you distance yourself from that idea, but you still want to keep your base agreeing with you, so you kind of drop this message that they're not wrong for believing what they believe. But most conservatives and all leftists will say you are wrong for believing in QAnon. QAnon is literally a conspiracy theory that started on 4chan and is one of the most dangerous conspiracy theories in America right now. They have been the fuel for a lot of domestic terrorist incidents in our country, and the fact that we have a representative right now that actively panders to those that believe in it is just unacceptable. Though I don't like drawing analogies between Greene and literally any other leader, I have to talk about Mr. Trump in this situation. Former President Donald Trump actually pandered to the rioters at the Capitol. In the video he made telling people to go home during the riots, he basically said that he loves them and he understands why they're doing it, which is pandering. He won't come out and say that he supports the riots, but he'll say, I completely get why you're rioting. So this is a clear cause for concern and is just another reason that Marjorie Taylor Greene should not be in the committees. But let's get even deeper. She was actually ousted from most of her committees for this one thing. In 2019, she liked a comment that said, and I quote, Nancy Pelosi should be taken out with a bullet to the head. She also posted a video around the time saying that Pelosi was a traitor and she's guilty of treason, and that is a crime punishable by death. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene actively called for the killing of Nancy Pelosi. But it doesn't stop there. Let's get even deeper. She believes, and she offed this in a live video, that planes didn't hit the Pentagon during 9/11. She's actively saying that she doesn't believe that all the innocent people on that plane were killed and that 125 people in the Pentagon weren't killed as a result of the crash. Past the fact that she berated a school shooting victim, believes in QAnon, and said Nancy Pelosi literally deserves to die, that is a despicable thing to say. In my own life, if I ever heard anybody say that, I would instantly stop talking to them and lose all respect for them. Believing that 9/11 literally didn't happen, at least to the Pentagon, is insane and invalidating. 125 people dead from one of the most lethal terrorist attacks in our country's history.
But we had witnessed 9/11, right? We had witnessed 9/11, the terrorist attack in New York, and the plane that crashed in Pennsylvania, and the so-called plane that crashed into the Pentagon. It's odd, there's never any evidence shown for a plane in the Pentagon. But anyways, I'm not going to dive into the 9/11 conspiracy.
But simply, it's psychotic. But we don't stop there. Let's go to something that's a bit more light, but just has a little bit of anti-Semitism sprinkled into it. She thought that the California wildfires were caused by Jewish-controlled laser beams in space. She alleged the connection between the Rothschild family and green and blue laser beams that she says people saw in the sky starting the California wildfires. For reference, the Rothschild family has basically been the target of a bunch of anti-Semitic and anti-Jewish conspiracy theories that are based on nothing but false facts. And the goal is to vilify Jews and say that they are nefarious and greedy. There's one more thing that she did that I think is almost more despicable than anything else she's done. In response to a comment that said Obama and Clinton should be hanged, she said, and I quote, "The stage is being set. Players are being put in place. We must be patient. This must be done perfect, or liberal judges will let them off. This doesn't even encompass all of her political beliefs. Some of her other beliefs are that Obama had somebody in power assassinated, and that the Las Vegas shooter who killed 58 people at a country concert was a plant by the Democrats to pass anti-gun laws. And that's why Democrats want her out of office. But I don't really want to talk about the Democrats because we know where the Democrats stand. I want to talk a little bit about the GOP's vote on this. Even after everything she said, only 11 members of the GOP voted for her to be removed from the council. That means that this was basically a partisan vote after a representative did so many despicable things. That shows that the Republican Party doesn't understand their base. They don't understand that not everybody is a QAnon nut. Essentially what they were thinking is that if they vote for her removal, they are essentially voting against Trump and conspiracy theory nuts in the party. That should be an insult to every Republican watching right now. In my lifetime, I have rarely ever seen more despicable members in the government, and in overall politics, she simply does not fit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great night.